Hello and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Today we're pleased to bring you another A Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys tournament. It is Losers Bracket Round 7 and it is Game 1 for both of these runners, although this is not the first time they've met in this tournament. It is zelgadissan versus Alaszun, and I am joined today on commentary by Dazed Cloud and Clear Mouse. And how are you both doing today?
Oh, I'm doing just fine there, Nori. Good to see you again. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to both of these matches here. This should be good fun to watch today.
Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely a very exciting match to witness.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm just going to check in with both of them, but we should be off shortly.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this for a while here. These two guys went at each other in one heck of a match earlier in the tournament. Something like, if I remember what Zelga was saying, it came down to a mirror at the top of Aga Tower or something like that.
Oh,
that was
wow.
sort of thing. It's yeah, so these two are going to be close to each other probably.
Yeah, these two certainly very, very competitive in Crosskeys, I mean in Rando in general, but these two powerhouses, I mean, anything with caliber of skill for these two runners, pitted against each other again, during this tournament should be quite the treat for us to watch. So Dazed, anything special you're hoping to see here today?
Oh no, I just kind of want to let these two deal with whatever the seed throws at them as easily as they possibly can. Zelga's execution is one of the best around there. I mean, he came in third in the recent spoiler log tournament, and Alaszun has been playing Crosskeys for longer than I pretty much know. So
yeah, I think Zelda
these guys are gonna rip right through this, I think.
Alright, looks like we have a simultaneous start here in Link's house, picking up a very nice set of 10 arrow packs for resource.
Interesting that they both decide to go for the fake flipper setup here into the witch's hut probably, and then go ahead and make sure that they get their money for what am I trying to say? The Houlihan room here in just a minute.
And just like in real life, extra money is always good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a debate about whether or not to do this. I don't really like doing this because occasionally you'll find something like this where you'll get Spiral Cave there sitting in the witch's hut. Now that's something you're going to 100% have to come back for. But man, it's yeah, this can work out. This guarantees that if you find a shop, you'll be able to get bombs, which is kind of the first big thing you need to find here. As it turns out, your sanctuary was right next door anyway, so I guess it won't be a hard walk for him.
Yeah, and thankfully that they actually just found a map to GT. Sometimes you can find the flippers in that chest, and then you're just a very sad person when you come here and try to pull a hand.
Yep, so they're both going to end up back around Link's house here in just a minute, and they're going to pick up their 225 rupees here. And then it's going to be interesting to see what their choices are from there. I think most people would head towards Kakariko because there's just so many entrances over there, but gonna have to see here. It looks like neither of them are going to do that.
They must have heard you, Dave, so they just want to prove you wrong, both of them.
Hey, yeah, look. I've been eliminated from this tournament here, so these guys know what they're doing.
I believe you were specifically eliminated by one of our fellow runners here today. I'm sure you're not biased at all, correct?
Yes, hi Zelga, good to see you again.
Well, it looks like we've got some pretty good discovery here on Zelga's side, finding the Kakariko well. Unfortunately, you will have to take a little bit of a walk around to get it, but always kind of nice to find these 5-item drops early.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like we've got a connector over on Alaszun's side, and that's leading up to the top of the thing, and gets murder dactyl there. I forget what the percentage chance is there, but there is a there's a chance there that if you drop down from that thing, that murderdactyl is going to get you 100% of the time. There's a chance of about 100% of the time. It's early for me. You gotta give me a little time.
So on Zelga's side, unfortunately, he didn't have a bomb. And, as he said, couldn't really find an early shop, so he could only get 4 items out of the well. But one of the items was the Cane of Samaria, so he will have to eventually go back to the well after he gets a bomb. But certainly having that early cane is something always really nice to see, especially when they eventually make their dip into Ice Palace, they will just have the cane.
Very true, very true. I mean, that kind of makes things interesting too when you find your Turtle Rock entrances there, because that'll start opening up quite a bit of things for you, and it's kind of at that point you kind of have to see exactly, okay, what are we going to get from that, because that's a place where you can sink quite a bit of time into. There's one of our best entrances we can find here. That's a graveyard ledge. That's one item, but more importantly, it's free bombs. So both runners probably are going to max out their bombs here pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun to see, because normally, when you want to go in normal non-Crosskeys runs, like you never ever see Graveyard Ledge unless it's either kind of like your last location, or you maybe try to get gambled to take an out of way location. But in Crosskeys, you are so happy to see that location, especially early.
Yeah, definitely. You want everything to do with that. Okay, so that's good information there. So we now know where both sides of Spiral Cave will lead out. So wouldn't be surprised to see next one of these saves and quits if somebody just goes and knocks out Spiral Cave quickly, because it's an item and you'd rather not just leave free items lying around. I mean, not typically a good way to do things, as Alaszun picks up a small key to Turtle Rock there, and looks like Zelga saw a map there on the waterfall ledge, or lumberjack ledge, sorry.
Yeah, now I have to ask you, Days, can you really make it through Spiral Cave quickly without the boots?
Good point. I mean,
I might be boots biased, based on my personal experience as well as what I've seen. But I certainly wish both runners to have early boots soon.
It would be nice there. I mean, but the other thing with Spiral Cave, it's just, if you're trying to do it with 3 hearts, you're gonna have a bad time. 3 hearts and no bombs, you're gonna really not enjoy life there. Zelga's found his way up on top of the mountain, and Alaszun is now in Super Bunny Cave, and that dead rock just wants to be a jerk. And we've got a sword over there on Alaszun's side there in the Super Bunny Cave there, and full magic as well. So nice little find there for Alaszun there, and it's gonna make the rest of his day a little bit easier, as Zelga got cabbaged there.
Yeah, even no matter how good of a runner you are or how high your skill caliber is, sometimes you just can't outrun the RNG. These guys should really get better on that.
Well, looks like Zelga's going to go ahead. He's going to take this one bomb that these bombs that he's got, and he's going to go walk right up to find out what was in the back of the well here.
Yeah, it looks like Alaszun is continuing his trek in Kakariko.
Ooh, finds the dam there. Okay, so that's going to open up the item underneath the under the water there, as in the back there.
I'm so happy that Zelda went back to get that last item. That would have been a pretty terrible last location if he chose to skip it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious. I think this might be the Spiral Cave play over on Zelda's side. Nope, he's just going to go do the back of Escape here first, which makes more sense.
And meanwhile, as on Alaszun's side, you mentioned finding the dam. It's actually really, really nice to find that location early, because once you kind of find it, you can always, once you go to South Shore for the Light World, you can automatically just pick up the Floodgate item.
Yeah,
And Swamp Palace will just be like ready right there for you.
which is always a nice thing to find. And wow, Zelga's just finding all of the interesting connectors right now as he's just popped himself up on top of Death Mountain there. That is a great connector to find right now, and unfortunately I missed exactly where it was.
You and me both, unfortunately. All I saw was where he got spit out of, and yeah, as you mentioned, finding any really connector to either Light Dark World, Death Mountain, or Death Mountain in general is just always just really really nice. So you get like just like a lot of people really like Kakariko to explore a lot of entrances. There's tons of stuff on the mountain.
Again, so we're finding out exactly why we missed it the last time. I guess that's Old Man's save and quit point right up there. So that's an interesting.
That is interesting.
Now Zelga's doing something kind of smart there. Occasionally the game is going to ask you to walk through Paradox Cave to another entrance that's actually in the light world, and then use that to go back and go and get whatever the items are out of there. If the game's really mean to you, it can do something like sticking the Moon Pearl in there, as we've got a big key to Desert Palace there over on Alaszun's side. I mean that's a pretty good finds here so far.
There are certainly a handful of big keys that you really, really want to find, and then there are a handful of big keys that are kind of nice to have, but kind of maybe ultimately get turned into a fetch quest. The Desert Palace big key is certainly one of those keys that you just really, really want to have because it can unlock Desert Palace, unlike let's say the Swamp big key or like the Skull big key.
Yeah, definitely, and so it's gonna give Alaszun a nice little advantage there to being able to immediately when he finds the back of a Desert Palace there. Thanks, Zelda.
Yeah. Not often you get to not often do viewers get to treat to actually see what's written on the signs there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Alaszun here has found the Hyrule Castle dungeon. This is, actually quite fitting for his damage and health output, right? Almost as if, they're just running a normal scene. Have a sword, 3 hearts, What else do you need for this castle? And a lamp!
How about a lamp? A lamp would do it. Because I was about to say, so he could go ahead and theoretically beat the back of Desert Palace the moment that he finds a fire source, and of course the fire source was in the next chest, so hey, there you go.
I'm sure from Alaszun's perspective he would probably like a faster or higher damage output weapon than the fighter sword that he has.
Fighter sword, 3 hearts, it's doable. You don't like it.
But yeah, sometimes in Crosskeys you really just can't be choosers, right? If that's within logic, sometimes that has to be the play that you make.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna get a quick death warp here on Alaszun's side because that lamp is gonna open up Dark Cross to him. So we're gonna take a quick wander back in that direction to see exactly what we've got, as Zelga has decided that he's gonna find us Thieves Town and get the 4 items out of the front here. I'm gonna start off with a shield. Oh boy.
That's one closer step to having a fire shield, and one step closer to unlocking Laser Bridge in Logic.
That is true. Yeah, that is one of the fun things about entrance here is that if you're used to playing on like the more standard open modes or anything like that, some of the logic requirements there have changed a little bit, just because entrance works off of slightly, well, I guess we'll call it outdated at this point logic. The previous version's logic here is, turns out Dark Cross just a map to Ice Palace, and now Zelga's gonna hug some poisonous snakes. Okay. And Zelga's turn to now go hug some horses as well. It's just, we got a whole bunch of hug parties right now since neither of these runners has the mirror yet. That's one of the big items that both of these runners are looking for. There's kind of 5 big items you look for early. Mirror, boots, and sword is always nice there. Glove is incredibly important. You're just looking for things that will help you check all of these fun entrances.
Yeah, and certainly if you throw in a moon pearl or two in there, certainly can help you clear things more efficiently.
Moon Pearl is one of those things there that you don't necessarily need it to complete the game, but you probably do. And when you do, it's going to open up a whole bunch of things, as we've got ourselves a mini Moldorm cave on Zelga's side.
Certainly really happy to see that he is conscious of his resource management, to have some number of bombs to be able to clear this, because he doesn't have a permanent weapon like Alaszun does.
I kind of like how he was able to clear mini Moldorm cave there with only the full 3 bombs. I mean, that was pretty nice there on his side.
So, while mini Moldorms do exhibit a extremely large amount of RNG, that clear of mini Moldorm does actually take quite a bit of skill. So, Zelda certainly, had some, probably help, but it really does showcase like his skill and caliber of this game.
All right, now that Zelda just found the key to put our lamp in logic here, so that's kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah, I'm actually not, I don't really, think of as these runners personally, about what their, I guess, like, opinion is about key logic in Crosskeys. I know that, just because of the sheer breadth and scope of, what items they're trying to get, early on, a lot of times logic is more of a suggestion than a mandate.
It can help you, is kind of the thing. But at the same time, one of the problems with Crosskeys that's not as much of a deal with some of the earlier other settings is that you're not ever really sure how much is available to you. So trying to be like, oh yeah, this is not in logic yet is tricky.
Oh yeah, and in fact, one of probably the biggest time losses in Crosskeys, just from experience, is how much you have to backtrack as compared to the other person.
Yeah, if you can just basically single clear a bunch of your dungeons, things are gonna go pretty well for you. But that's typically you're kind of just kind of hoping for that at the moment. But doesn't usually work out that well.
That just means we have to pray harder.
True.
At least that's my personal approach to play Crosskeys. I'm sure these guys probably have a bit more experience handling their runs through Crosskeys, including you guys.
Just go fast and try to grab as many things as you possibly can.
Okay, easy. I'll try that on my next feed.
Yeah. Theory and practice don't really work. Just get all the things. I mean, that was my strategy for this tournament, was try to hundo the seed as quickly as possible.
It certainly is not a, I would say, like, bad approach. Sometimes that's just, what Crosskeys ends up being. So, if you can have the right path of progression to hundo the seed, then, you get the advantage. And you made it quite far into the tournament 2 days, so.
Well, thank you. But Alaszun, on his bunny walk side, has found us another interesting entrance here. He's found the right side entrance to Desert Palace. Now, he's got the DP big key in here, so he'll be able to get 2 chests out of here. He'll be able to get a look on the torch, but one of the fun things about the bunny logic is that he might be required to walk through to the left entrance of Desert Palace there, which could theoretically lead him to something that he needs. As he picks up a mushroom and sees that his blue mail is there burning on the torch, which probably would be not so great.
Well, you would think that would be the red mail, right? That could withstand fire.
Right, yeah, that would be the way that you would think, but this game doesn't work on logic.
Alright, so meanwhile, we see Zelda finding his way up in Tower of Hera. I believe he picked up a small key to pod in the basement cage. And he, holding the Tower Pair of Big Key, unfortunately no hook shot to Harrowpot with, will make his way up the more classic approach.
Oh, and this is a moment where I see Zelga just magically appear in Tower of Hera because I was watching Alaszun's screen here, and now I'm sitting here wondering how the heck he got there. So far, nothing out of Tower of Hera here, so he's going to hope for a crystal here in just a second, though.
Yeah, so he certainly does have the power to complete this. Not very many people would willingly come up to beat Moldorm with 3 hearts and Fighter Sword. But hey, he's got that shield to protect him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like if there's a handful of people in this game who, when it comes to execution, can outdo Zelda, and I'm gonna say he's gonna be okay. I'm gonna say that, and he takes a fall and loses a heart.
We're just nothing happened. I believe he's going to try and maybe attempt Moldorm again. And in fact, actually, I think
Zelda, it's not that hole.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, so Zelda, I believe, is on record, or at least due to his recollection, from his Crosskeys tournaments, I think he said that he's done like Moldorm bounce now, like half of his Crosskeys races. So he's very familiar with Moldorm too. Maybe he just needs to brush up on Moldorm 1.
Oh, I'm familiar with him doing Moldorm bounce in a match. Stupid hook shot at the top of or one wasn't a hook shot, it was Eastern Palace Big Key.
Yeah, that there are definitely some scenes that you just happen to remember for some reason better than others, right?
Oh yeah. Well, over on Alaszun's side there, he's taking the Spiral Cave entrance there, finding out that it was just a red rupee, and is Hera just sitting in? Oh, I guess Hera's just sitting in Kakariko there, and well, down goes Moldorm, and gonna get ourselves 10 arrows, but more importantly, a blue pendant, because if you get access to a dungeon that early, it's probably gonna be junk.
I think it's one step closer to the pedestal, right? Which everybody wants in Crosskeys Seed.
I mean, to be honest, if you've got a ped seed in Crosskeys, it almost simplifies the entire game. Because it's just like, oh, I got to clear everything. Okay, cool, easy. Alright, well, it looks like Alaszun's going to be doing the exact same thing here as Zelga just did, so he's going to start climbing Hera, as Zelga's going to clear out the other couple of dungeons here, and I'm just still trying to remember exactly which one of these was Hera now on my thing here. And I guess Zelga's probably headed back up towards the mountain right now. You have to take my word for it. That's what he's doing right there.
We can certainly see from the lack of activity on his screen, which is pure black, minus the sparklies, that he is probably going to find Old Man and save him. Now, Alaszun does have to be a little bit careful. He is on 1 heart, so he essentially is still in effect in one-hit KO mode. I believe also, like Zelda, he did not flip the blue switch to orange, so, well, I guess if he falls, then he's just going to, I guess, refill his health the alternative way, but I was going to say that if he had fallen, that he would have been able to pick up some pots.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, not exactly where you want to use your first red potion of the day on a 3-heart Moldorm fight, but I mean, dying is one of the things that I learned very early in my career here is that you dying is slow. Just don't die.
Okay, don't die. Is that what I've been doing wrong all this time?
You would be surprised. Alright, we're gone to the super angry Moldorm phase here, and just goes ahead and pokes him, spins him, gets him down. picks up his 10 arrows, it's going to get his blue pendant as well, and both of these guys are going to orphan the chest in the bottom of Tower of Hera, which will, I assume, not come back to bite them 100% at all.
Absolutely, I am fully on board with you because we both said it. Therefore, our comm curses will cancel each other out, and then nothing bad will happen.
Yep. That's the way that this works for sure.
I don't think I noticed this on Alaszun's side or Zelga's side if he'd already done this, but I guess there was a 0 rupee transaction with the bottle vendor. Alaszun paid 100 rupees for the prize and got 100 rupees back.
Yeah, could be worse. My favorite one is when you spend like 100 rupees or like 500 up at Zora, and he just chucks you the single arrow or something, and you're just like, oh well, that's a thing.
Yes,
thanks, guy.
Yes, thank you, Zora, for having me spend all my time and effort and rupees to get all the way over here for you to give me not something worth my return.
Ooh, Mini Moldorm's playing mean over there on Alaszun's side. He's got to be a little bit careful. He's probably just gonna, chuck some bombs at the other ones here.
Oh no, Alaszun! That is unfortunate. I don't remember there being anything that notable in Mini Moldorm. I want to say there was a small key to Turtle Rock.
And don't forget the bug net.
Oh yes, you are absolutely correct, Days. In fact, the bug net is actually my favorite item.
That bug net is when you get towards the end of the day, and you just were like, you know what, I want to go ahead and just use this to kill Aga because it's fun. But yeah. So I'm missing something right now. Now, did we see Ganon?
We had seen Ganon. I do not actually remember where we saw Ganon, but we definitely saw it.
Okay, so I'm working through my list of things that we're missing, and it looks like then we've got the Uncle Drop sitting behind Aga 2 today. So there's a little bit of an extra bonus for you guys wanting to go all the way through. Go through and make the climb into GT. There's a little bit of an extra reason to do that if that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, no, as Zelda's actually not that clumsy. I believe he's purposely taking damage in this case to try and death warp out of here.
Yeah, I mean, this is one thing that's kind of nice with having actually low hearts is when you're going through some of these areas where you've got a death warp because it's early and you don't have a mirror. It's one of the worst things that you can kind of find in a very funny way is if you find red mail.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes runners probably think like, can I put this back? I want a death warp faster.
It's like, ooh, look, red mail. Oh, that's sweet. Oh wait, no, I got a death warp. Oh man.
Oh, so finding Ice Palace that he cannot do anything in at the moment on Death Mountain.
Yeah, and it's all sorts of fun things here. You've got all 3 Hyrule Castle entrances up on Death Mountain right now, and you got that along with an Ice Palace and a Fairy Fountain over on the right side. It is it's a very interestingly put together mountain right now. Let's call it that. So yep. On Zelga's side, we're gonna go ahead and work our way to the back of the Old Man Drop. I don't know if we've seen this yet.
I certainly don't remember Lynn doing this, but sometimes it's hard to catch sometimes what all of these winners are doing.
See, now here's the fun about bombs plus mini Moldorms. Occasionally the bombs just decide, mini Moldorms and the bombs hitboxes just decide not to work together, and that's where you go. It looks like that the back of the Old Man there is not something interested, because that was a very quick I'm out of here on Zelga's side.
You know, it would be really nice if these runners actually did find a little bit more health. I'm sure they're not super interested in always clearing the seed, on 3 hearts.
Yeah, at some point they're probably going to want to, like, be able to do things in the game that aren't incredibly difficult. But we'll see how much they can actually get here. As Zelga's going to find his red potion up there on the bumper on the top of Bumper Ledge, and that's going to be something he'll definitely want to note down for when he gets the mirror, because that's probably one of the big 3 annoying places to find.
Yeah, certainly. No fouls to these 2 runners, but when newer runners are first running on Crosskeys, that is one of the probably most common locations that people forget or fail to realize that you actually need to mirror there in order to get the last entrance.
Yeah, like I know for a fact, my very first Crosskeys that I ever did, I didn't even know you could mirror onto the race game.
Yeah, that is also another one. Yeah, I mean, and I guess at least the upside is that you only probably make that mistake once, right?
Yeah, no, you learn very quickly. That's for sure. As looks like Alaszun has turned in his mushroom there a second ago, and there we go. There's a mirror for Zelga, and it was just sitting there in Agina's cave, which was the cave, the fairy cave north of basically the hobo. So now let's just probably start a clock for when does Alaszun get on over there, because he should be there pretty soon, just because Alaszun's not got that many other places to go. So I wouldn't be too surprised for him to go here, check the well real fast, and start heading in that direction.
Yeah, Alaszun certainly will be very happy here, picking up his bow in Cane of Samaria. Have neither runner gone to South Shore yet? I think that would be another kind of big sweep that they can do.
See, South Shore is one of those things that has a lot more value in a open seed than it does in entrance. One of the annoying things about doing South Shore in this mode is you get down there and you realize, oh, I don't have a glove to lift this rock. Oh, I don't have a glove to lift this rock. And then you just kind of leave those 2, and it's a long walk to get back to. So a lot of people will sit there and they will put off those checks until they have a glove. Now Alaszun is gonna go ahead and check this first kind of like Light World Hype Cave one here. There's nothing here, and then it's going to be a decision time for him about what exactly he wants to do next. And south it is.
Yeah, so it looks like he will be slightly more delayed to get his mirror this time around. But as you said, given that Alaszun does not actually have the glove, he's probably pretty limited to what he can actually check. So hopefully his delay won't be too much longer.
Well, he's found himself a swamp cave here. A swamp palace, but he can't do anything with it.
If only we had those gosh darn flippers. Yeah, this red boomerang on both sides was being put to pretty good use here. Zelda is actually picking up, some arrow and bomb drops, just also showing that he's just very confident of his resource management here.
Yep, and putting that mirror to use immediately, and unfortunately not finding anything on the top of the mountain that is going to help him. But he's knocked off a couple of those other kind of annoying entrances here. Like I think that at this point, the only real big connector that we're looking for up there is as we get silver arrows out of the bonk rock on Alaszun's side. And there's a nice little mimic cave find for Zelga. So that's just something we're gonna have to mark and come back to later when we've got the hammer.
Yeah, I believe also Zelda had found Spike Cave earlier, and so they do need a little bit more equipment for that, namely the glove and some sort of invincibility item. But these are also just locations that they will have to eventually go back because they also don't have, in particular, the hammer.
Right, now it looks like now Alaszun is going to be making his way over to pick up the his mirror and probably get the other 3 checks over in the Eastern Palace area. So we'll have to see here. I mean, yeah, at this point, we're still kind of trying to figure out exactly where that pearl is, where are everything else that we need. The mirror opens up so many nasty options, to be honest.
I thought I just gave them more freedom of choice.
Oh man. True, it does. But
maybe it's more of an illusion of choice. How's that?
that could be it too. Yeah, I mean, it can make you start laughing at some point because you've got so many things that you can do here. With the mirror, I'm starting to get very suspicious about that, about the connector there next to Hyrule, next to Lake Hylia there that leads up onto Bumper Cave. Because that will lead you into a lot of possible mirror checks. And I might be tempted to, if I were them, to go do this. And Alaszun is just not having luck today. That Octorok just followed him and just took out all 3 of his hearts, and he couldn't even do anything about it.
Yeah, Alaszun was too much of a leader here, and the Octorok, had really no choice but to follow Alaszun.
Now, I mean, it looks like, oh no, that's a bad death. It's not. It's one of those things. None of those entrances over there on Eastern Palace are worth anything. So if he just ignores them for the rest of the time there, or until he goes through and does the pod area, he's fine.
Yeah, and really, just being one of the things that you kind of gain from experience is when to kind of try and keep your cool and try and just block out things that it's it's not going to bother me if I don't do this immediately, if you were intending to do it the first time around. Definitely.
And so as Zelga's also now getting the information that Alaszun got not that long ago, that we've got our 2 red crystals today as Pod and Desert Palace. And Desert Palace is kind of interesting since we already do have the big key here.
Yeah, and
sure.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna kind of slightly follow up. I remember very early on we were postulating about trying to do Desert Palace with killing Lammo with a fighter sword and 3 hearts. Well, at least these guys have the silvers now, so maybe it won't be as bad of a fight for them.
Yeah, at that point it would be pretty quick. It looks like there's Zelga's now found another connector off of the now Light World Bumper Cave there, since he used the mirror up there. And Alaszun looks like he's going to do one of my favorite things to do in Crosskeys, which is just go ahead and... Okay, so we've now got... Oh, so this opens up the top of the pyramid over there. And Alaszun's doing one of my favorite things in Crosskeys, which is breaking up Skull Woods as early as possible here, because there's going to be 4 items you can pick up fairly quickly, and especially with the cane and the mirror, you can get through this nice and fast, and going to be rewarded with the big key to Turtle Rock already.
Yeah, that big key to Turtle Rock is a really, really nice find. And in particular, as you said, having Kinetic Murray specifically for that room, everyone talks about how great Icebreaker is. That, having the cane there is certainly, I would say, considered to be underrated. It looks like Zelda, with his Dark World overworld checks, didn't quite seem to find, anything of use. So he will continue on and try a different arc here.
Oh. And Lin also being very, very, very good at this game is bringing up an interesting point here. Nothing on the mountain is in logic right now. That lamp that Zelga is using here as, wow, we've got a big key to Thieves Town over on Alaszun, and he's showing exactly why I love breaking into this into Skull Woods as early as possible here. none of these dark rooms are in logic. Because how did we get up to the mountain? We had to go through a dark room.
I believe there was a sparkling that we followed.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, I mean, at the moment here, I think we're flute locked off of the mountain here. Well, no, actually not anymore. Because you could just say, no, yes, yeah, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, because if you had done off of the floating island there, you still had to unlock the old man by going through the dark room. So it's not technically in logic yet. So there's a reason why Lin is still in the winner's bracket.
I can confirm that Lin is probably a good Crosskeys runner.
And Zelga is made his way up onto the top of Hyrule Castle here. He's going to have to leave behind that one, the Aga locked door there, because he doesn't have anything to knock that open with. As finds a glove though, so he's not going to care.
Yeah, no. As you said, there were probably 5 big items. A glove is certainly among that 5. So I'm sure he's very happy to see that glove. And meanwhile, I'm not sure if this was noticed before, but so Alaszun's here found in Lake Hylia. The hookshot was found on Lake Hylia Island, and he did a very nice install of Thick Flipper in order to visit Hobo.
Now he's going to get himself a sick kid find here as well there, but he's got a single rupee, so yeah, thanks, kid.
Hey, there's another single rupee out there somewhere in the prize pool that we're just going to look forward to seeing. Zelda, with silvers in hand, will make his way into Eastern Palace. I don't believe he has the big key, but certainly there are a good number of checks he can make here.
Ooh, that's gonna be a bad time. He got himself caught on a corner there, Alaszun did, and you could just see that Zora taking that extra second there to line him up. So, unfortunately...
Yeah, Alaszun is not having a lot of good luck here with overworld enemies.
Swimming is one of those things that is actually really can be incredibly annoying there, because it feels like the corners of some of those sprites are much grabbier than they should be. And unfortunately, that's kind of what happened to Alaszun there, and he's going to make his way back to these 2 checks over in the Eastern Palace area, and unfortunately, neither of these are going to pay out for him at all.
Oh yeah, well, so speaking of how difficult it is to swim, so Zelda can swim for real now. He just picked up the flippers in Eastern.
See, that's all Alaszun had to do was, Galaxy Brain his way all the way over here to the Eastern Palace area, and everything would have been fine.
Oh yeah, exactly. If only he had just known. I mean, what is Alaszun thinking?
I mean, that's Crosskeys in a nutshell. If only I had known to do this incredibly convoluted string of events, then I could have won.
So that's why there is next season for Crosskeys.
Oh, true, very true. We'll be looking forward to that starting here in probably about another 9 months or so.
Admins, I hope you're listening.
Or we could do this twice a year. I'd be down for that. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, what a find for, the contents of Eastern Palace. I mean, I'm sure Zelda is very, very happy that he decided to dive.
I mean, that there's so many things there for him. That's just great. Now, on his side there, it's great, but he still doesn't have a pearl.
Yeah, no pearl, and still only 3 hearts.
Right, so, but I mean, it's going to make this mini Moldorm cave just a bit easier here, as it turns out the other entrance to Alaszun being very, very happy about finding this other entrance to the Paradox Cave there, being under the rock on basically Light World shopping mall area.
Unfortunately, he can't kind of, go back to that entrance, but at least he knows that he at least realizes what a location that is, so that he won't kind of have to, isolate that when he eventually goes over there.
Oh my! And okay, so we've found an entrance that will a connector to the top of Ganon's tower, basically.
Probably we're not going to visit that connector the other way around.
All right, so now we have actual logical access to the mountain. So the lamp is in logic. So everything that has happened so far on basically Zelga's side now makes perfectly logical sense in the completely stupid Crosskeys way.
I'm sure I can give credit to Zelda and also to Alaszun that both runners, while they probably were aware that they're sequence breaking stuff, once they also are aware once they put themselves back into logic.
Well, here's more important things though. We've got a Blind's Hut check here over on Zelga's side there. This sucker's in the Mimic Cave right now, and he just picked up blue mail and a big key to
Ice Palace.
Ice Palace. Okay, thank you. I was like, I don't know, and the big key to Eastern Palace too.
We were just there.
Well, that's friendly right there. That's nice, except for the it being in Mimic Cave, which required the Spectacle Rock connector to go through. Still no Moon Pearl, by the way.
And sadly, still no boots. Although, if given how much they're kind of like walking around in Dark World, having the boots probably doesn't do much more for their movement until they find that Moon Pearl.
I mean, the biggest thing that the boots would do right now for these guys is you could get the mail off of Desert Palace if you really wanted it, and there's the the 3 entrances that you could check right now in the Light World. You still can't check the one in the Dark World just because you don't have the Pearl yet.
Yeah.
And Alaszun is making his way into the dark area of this thing. It finds now the waterfall cave. Now he's probably going to try to Super Bunny his way into it there, and by using the mirror on the same frame as you enter the thing there. He did it on the first try there. That's can be a pretty touchy little trick to do, and he just knocked it off no problem there. Is walking into a post though.
It's like, I can get this frame perfect trick first try, no problem. But can't afford the stationary obstacles.
Well, I mean,
the overworld.
I'm not going to give him too much crap about that. That's called I'm marking that on my tracker. Oops, wait, I should be looking at the screen. All right, so that's Skull Woods, the back of Skull Woods found on Alaszun's side. Now he's going to at least get the chest here out of the underneath the bridge here. But the other question is he can sequence break back to Moth. It would just be an absolutely awful fight.
Oh man, you are absolutely correct. In many modes, including Crosskeys, Fighter Sword 3 Heart Moth at this point is really something not you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so I mean he's not going to do this now. Zelga has found himself the back of the other entrance into Paradox Cave here. Now this is not going to be. Well, this could be the Pearl. I'm trying to think. Could this? Yes, this could be the Pearl in an absolutely ridiculous chain of events. Now that I think it can't. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna completely trust Lynn on this. That's the 4th Turtle Rock key though that we found. I think between the 2 runners.
We have not found any Turtle Rock entrances, though, have we?
No, we haven't found any. We haven't found a in there. Okay, I actually thought deleting the block was in logic here, so I'm glad to learn that there, because I always thought that it was. Okay, never mind. All right, now Alaszun is he's gonna do the thing. This is gonna be a fun fight here.
All right, good luck. Yes, good luck, Alaszun. So he did pick up actually another bottle with blue potion at the race game. So maybe he feels a little bit safer having that bit more of safety.
I mean, that would be good. The thing is there's not that many things that he currently has right now that's going to make magic too helpful. He doesn't have a cape, doesn't have I'm like looking here. I guess he can lay down a Samaria block, which does work. As we've got Zelga there using his sequence broken hammer there to go ahead and what's the sequence? At this point I've lost the logic. So.
Zelda picked up the hammer in Eastern. I can't actually remember if getting to Eastern was in logic.
Alaszun. Alaszun taking a death there to the mini Moldorms on his way to Mothula. I kind of wonder if he's just going to abandon this at this point. Yep, and yeah, there he goes.
I believe also, without the fire rod, Mothula is also not in logic. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, Mothula is not in logic without 3 Skull Woods keys too. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's quite a bit of things there that kind of keep it out of keeping him out of the things there. Unfortunately, it looks like the mirror checks are not going to help Alaszun today. That one. The Cave 45 check there didn't give anything there. And we're going to get a Zora and a Zora Ledge check up there.
It's always nice to come up to Zora here with the flippers, or at least having some knowledge that you won't have to leave this item behind if it's something good. Of course, there's 50 rupees, so I very highly doubt Zelda's going to go get that, but still, it's peace of mind before you come here.
I'm trying to think here. What could we find up here at this point that would make this a little bit more interesting here? Because I'm looking at these poor guys being on their 6 hearts and fighter sword and no moon pearl. And how about a cape?
How about a cape? Hey Zelda, there's that Aga Castle Tower entrance that you can go visit now.
I mean, to be honest, he does have the key to the big key to Eastern Palace right now. It's right there. It's a completable dungeon. I wouldn't be surprised to see that's exactly where he's going.
Now, of course, by Crosskeys mandate, if it's a completable dungeon early on, the seed is going to be appended. So we're thinking red or green today.
Well, I don't actually know that one for sure, if I'm being honest. Just because for one, he decided to hop off, and but for 2 here, that could theoretically be a pearl. I think it like at this point, a lot of this is I think. As it turns out, Zelga did not actually sequence break into Skull Woods at any of these points here, and unfortunately does not have the big key to TR that Alaszun has. But he's going to be able to pick up at least the lava chest and the chain chomp chest from this direction. And then I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually go out through the laser bridge, not the laser bridge, but the laser eyes entrance, the left side entrance, and maybe head that way. Zelda. Well, I guess. Yeah.
Go ahead, guys.
No, I was just gonna say, it's like you do have 4 keys there. You don't need to kill that guy.
I was actually just just postulating that like to use sometimes like these are only being on this case like 4 or 5 hearts respectively, to have Turtle Rock be your main connector to like get to other entrances always is a little bit precarious. I'd much rather have desert. It's a little bit safer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess actually I'm trying to think here. Yeah, would you go out the front, or should you go out the? Would you go out the? Yeah, you'd go out the front, I guess, because there is one more check here with all the keys and Zelga. That's ambitious.
Oh, all right. So Zelda just picked the fire shield, coupled with the other shield that Lynn picked up separately, which I cannot. Which he sequence broke out of Waterfall Fairy. I believe that would be Mirror Shield for both of them eventually. So when they do get that, I now think Laser Bridge will be in Logic.
Well, I mean, Laser Bridge is in Logic also if you have the cape.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Or if you've got Blue Cane. So they've kind of done that. And a good thing for Alaszun over on his side is he's about to get the Eastern Palace Bonanza on his ways. Yeah, it starts off kind of slow with just a key to Ganon's Tower there, but it gets very interesting very quickly. All right, so where is this going to lead there, Zelga? It's gotta be, I mean, Mire Desert area would be kind of interesting. Or Complete Chunk. Ouch. That ain't great.
At least he knows. he doesn't have to go back.
See, that's one of those situations where, yeah, he made the right choice. There's one more item this way. There's one more, there's an entrance that way. Let's go that way. Turns out the item was completely useless, and the entrance was to something that you absolutely do not need to go to. Okay, cool. Thanks, game.
I'm sure though chances are that Alaszun, when faced with that same decision, will also probably pick what Zelda picked. So, really no time loss, presumably to both these runners.
Yeah, and pretty quick here. Wouldn't be surprised to see. Oof, Zelga's gonna have to be a bit careful here. She's saying that's enough. Screw it. When in doubt, run away.
That is what the Blue Badger does best.
All right, there is the hammer over on Alaszun's side, and he's going to be pretty happy about all of that, as Zelga's going to go ahead and refill his health here. He's going to get himself back up to 6 hearts.
Hey, that's like twice the health that they started with.
Yeah, that was almost an hour ago. Ooh, there's a nice map deck. So there's a crystal in Thieves Town and in Skull Woods, and it looked like a green pendant sitting there in Ice Palace today.
Yeah, I think Pod was our 5/6. Oh, I think we already knew that from the bomb shop guy. But I think Zelda didn't know that quite yet. Is that correct? Or was it Alaszun that only visited that?
No, both of them have visited that now.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, now Alaszun is not going to waste any time as well. He's going to go ahead and just break open Paradox Cave here as well. So, yeah, he's not going to really get anything. He'll get a little bit more health, which is nice. But other than that, it's just going to be you're here, get it done while you can, sort of thing.
Yeah, certainly both these runners having the mirror, they're much less. They're not worried about death dwarfing anymore. So any more safety that they have, I'm sure they'll just be happy to take.
All right, and it turns out that the middle entrance to Desert Palace was just sitting there in Hyrule, in the Hyrule area there. So it's like, man, there's kind of surprising that they had put this off for. Put this off for as long as they did, but yeah.
Yeah, Zelda also picking up his mushroom that Alaszun had picked up, quite some time ago. Also, which reminded me that I believe Alaszun had also not turned in his mushroom.
Alaszun turned in his mushroom.
Oh, he did turn his mushroom.
Yeah, it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything of note, at least. Okay, now we get to see if Alaszun will make the choice. Now, Alaszun, because he sequence broke into Skull Woods there a little bit earlier, now has so many more things that he can do in here. He's going to be able to go straight to Laser Bridge, which is going to be kind of nice, and he'll be faced with a bit of a decision at that point whether or not he wants to just go out the Laser Bridge entrance. I probably would if I was him, just because it's not horrible to get back here at the moment.
And certainly, if that interest is something that he's allowed to, kind of come back in, is a really nice safety in case, laser skips don't go his way.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the laser skips necessarily, just because of the cape there. I kind of think he might. Oh no, he doesn't have the cape though. That's right. Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh,
yeah,
fun,
I think Zelda was only picked up the cape only, and and no one has boots. So certainly, though, I'm very confident that Alaszun is doing capable of laser skills. Just it's always just in case type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where you're gonna have to be kind of careful.
I'm just gonna watch Zelda's screen right now, okay? That's okay.
It's fine. Zelga is bunny reviving here, and Skullwood's probably one of the slower ways possible. Oh man, Alaszun, you gamer right here.
I guess no guts, no glory, right?
I could just go out the door, bud.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten that he picked up a blue potion from the race game earlier. Alright, so with hammer in hand, looks like Zelda is going to try and make his first attempt at Mopula.
See, I feel a little bit more confident in Zelga's current setup there, with blue mail and a few more hearts. And okay, so Alaszun has now gotten all of the things, and he is headed out of the laser bridge entrance, and it turns out that was Hype Cave. And we're kind of back where we started, where there's nothing.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate too that it did kind of end up in a place where he wasn't able to go back. He chose to, he wanted to take the path back.
Now, to kind of comment on something in chat, mail actually does matter for Moth. It doesn't matter for the spikes in his room, but it does matter for Moth. So the blue mail will help, because you won't end up doing two hearts of damage there from any of Moth's attacks. You'll be down to a single heart, which is better. Still makes the fight. The fight's still not easy. It's not a fun fight here, but I'm not anticipating Zelda having a particularly difficult time with this. He's fairly decent with the game. Oh, this is 100% out of logic.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that Zelda actually just wrapped up 3rd place in the Swirl tournament. That Swirl tournament is actually very known for low percent fights. Zelda is certainly no stranger to a low percent fight here on Moth. As
you can see, with not Moldar, but Mothula exploding into lots of pretty colors there, and giving Zelda a small key to Ganon's Tower, and more importantly, his first crystal.
First crystal at the hour mark. It's actually not too bad for Crosskeys C so far.
Yeah, you're not really worried about that. I mean, at this point, considering how much of this seed is seeming to be locked behind, I would say locked behind the pearl, you're kind of have to, at some point, you're going to start wondering, where is this thing? And I think I agree with Lin about that Eastern Palace, that Eastern Palace dip there to go and beat Armos Knights. I think I might be curious about that. All right, and good news over on Alaszun's side there. He's going to get into the... following this connector is going to lead him up to the Mimic Cave area with the two big keys in... Blindspot. There it is. There's the word.
Yeah, certainly those big keys are nice to have, before you go into the dungeons.
Yeah, that's one of the things there. Unfortunately, neither runner is going to get the single dip Eastern Palace today. That's just not in the cards for them there. We're going to get the big key to Ice Palace. Going to get his blue mail, which will make life considerably easier for him. And then here in the back there, he's going to pick up his Eastern Palace big key. And now it's time to try to guess where... where do we go now?
Yeah, I think at this point, both runners are just kind of retracing each other's steps. Flag. You know, but you're certainly correct in that, you know, this pearl, actually, this seed is quite elusive, and, you know, it's as soon as basically I think that, you know, we find it, you know, we can basically knock out a lot more things very quickly, or at least, you know, we'll have a lot more freedom after that.
Yeah, like I'm at the moment kind of wondering, how is it that we haven't found Pod yet, and we haven't found Desert Palace right now. So I mean, those have got to be somewhere in the Dark World, probably in just behind an entrance that we just can't get into yet. But you know, we're not, like, we don't have a whole lot that we can even do at this point. I think Alaszun is heading back towards the Eastern Palace area. I think this might be what he's doing. It's either that or he's going to go check the two entrances around Pod, and I'm guessing Eastern Palace is a little bit more interesting. I guess is the word I'll use here. I mean, one thing I'll say about this seed here is, if you're a fan of bunny walking, we're definitely getting a ton of bunny walking today.
Now, I'm curious, Days, like, so how long do you, for you personally, have you gone as a bunny without getting the pearl and the seed?
Oh, I've gone to like an hour and 30 minutes easily sometimes. Like you know, a lot of runners dream of having like the pearl-less seed, which does happen. It can happen. It's ooh, here's an option. We got a mire shed sitting there behind the cape in this.
Oh my gosh!
That's bad for Zelda. Or wait, nope, Zelda has cape too. So
yeah.
all right.
But,
so we're
oh no, sorry.
Yeah, Zelda's on his way to go pick this up as well. So, I mean, both runners are going to, after an hour and 5 minutes of this, of looking for this, are going to pick up the pearl probably within about a minute of each other. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, despite all of the divergence, you know, it's these runners are actually quite close to each other, given, you know, basically the same output. I guess Zelda is a crystal ahead at this point, just with the Mothula bead. Alright, so with silver is with the lamp. Eastern Palace, I'm sure, is no strange place for both these runners. Alright, almost done. And Alice's side finds the big key to Skull Woods. Zelda will shortly grab his big key and his second crystal.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Were you? I could not hear you for the last, I would say, 30 seconds-ish, something like that.
Sorry, Discord just worked.
Yeah, you are not the first one to have issues with Discord. So I'm sorry if you felt special in that way.
No, it's just I just all of a sudden realized that I'm talking to myself and I'm hearing a whole bunch of Discord noises in the background, and I'm going, "Is that me or someone else?"
I mean, so I don't think you missed too much. It looks like, I don't know if you were able to watch the restream at all, but, Alaszun successfully completed Eastern Palace with the Silver Arrow. Zelda is very closely following in suit. They picked up the big key to Skull Woods.
Yep. I've caught that so far here. So, yep, both of these guys should be able to, kind of get through things. It looks like Alaszun is making his way up to Catfish here, just trying to get out these easy 100% items. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see either of these guys immediately after Catfish make their way over and pick up that hook shot, because that's more items you can just get for free.
And really having no mobility items at their disposal, having the hookshot will really at least speed up a little bit of movement here and there, so long as they can grapple onto things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the hookshot is just one of the most useful items that you could possibly get in this game. It's probably one of my favorite things to find early, just because it's such a peace of mind for people who, are like me and don't hover, and don't Moldorm bounce or anything like that. And it's just like, okay, that's one less thing I have to be concerned about right now, because hookshot in GT or something like that is just not a great time.
You're not talking about from personal experience, right?
No, not at all.
Alright, as you mentioned, right after hookshot, Linlin's one who suggested that Alaszun do this. Alaszun has picked up his hookshot, and now he'll be quite happier. And of course, it's the added bonus. Given that we're an hour and 10 minutes in, while we do have blue mail, we're still not quite terribly healthy. The ability for the hookshot to stun enemies temporarily is always welcome.
Stuns some enemies, kills a whole bunch of enemies. It is really just the best thing after a point. Now, Alaszun's going to come over here. He's going to check out these three entrances, and then he's probably going to do a quick mirror, because there's one of the entrances to Hookshot Cave is just sitting in the Light World section of this area. So first we're going to find the brewery here, which is going to give us a small key over to Ganon's Tower, which that puts us at 3 GT keys. So that's starting to get to be an interesting number. And a C-shape house as well. All right, cool.
Alright, meanwhile, looks like Zelda is going to take a slight detour before picking up his hookshot. Out the other side of Bunker Cave. And also, so this is also something that Zelda is showing us now, is that, unlike maybe that things that people, kind of assume that you need, you actually do not need the hookshot to get to the other side. You just need the cave.
Now, kind of interestingly, though, Zelda kind of getting further and further away from his hookshot at the moment. It's not going to be a big deal, though, because he can just mirror right back to it here, and not that much longer. Not mirror, but he can save and quit, start from Link's house if he wants, and just go immediately to the Dark World portal now that he has complete access to the area.
Alaszun picking up half magic from Hookshot Cave. It's always a welcome sight to see before Cold Stare.
And a small key to Misery Mire, which is, helpful. It makes your routes through Misery Mire considerably easier. But other than that, it's not the most useful thing in the world.
Yeah, I think in terms of small keys, right? The ones that people always really want to see. The first time is I want to see the small key to swamp. But like the first small key to ice, the first small key to mire. Those are, as we mentioned, very excellent speed or routing keys. They really do make your life a whole heck of a lot easier before you get before you can dive the dungeon.
Yeah, and you do bring up a good point here. That is one of the small keys that we have not seen yet. We haven't seen that small key to Swamp Palace. That sucker can be, unfortunately, anywhere, and at some point you almost start hoping that Swamp is a pendant and you don't actually need that.
Hope is certainly a very great sentiment, because so some people out, given that we have the hook shot, we have flippers, right? So like we certainly have a lot more equipment to be able to dive swamp if we have that small key.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if we find that small key, Swamp is 100% clearable right now for the runners there. You can get all 10 items, everything is happy, but at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time.
At the same time, you stick that thing, say, on like Uncle or something behind the Aga 2 climb, you're going to see both of these runners probably say a whole bunch of really unsafe for work things in their streams. Alright, now on Zelga's side here, he's going to go be able to very quickly got through Laser Bridge there since he's got that mirror shield. I mean, the mirror shield slows you down, but it does make getting through those laser rooms there just an absolute joke. Got to do it much faster than Alaszun did, who had to just very, very carefully nudge his way around the lasers.
Yeah, I also do believe that Alaszun has used up both his potions, where I think Zelda has both his safeties.
Now, where did I stick that? Where did I stick that potion shop? We did see it, and I don't remember where it was at the moment. Right, it's up at the basically the lumberjack's hut. So, like, if you want, there are quick ways to be able to get up there and restock on potions, but it's still a bit out of the way here. Now we've got a pyramid fairy check there over on Alaszun's side, and he's going to get to fill up his potions this way. There, he's going to get a green potion there from the fairy, which is kind of nice.
It's 60 rupees safe for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you'd be surprised how sometimes money can be a big issue, and that's one of the big arguments for doing the early Houlihan play and such like that. I think you'll find most runners at some point will either just use the Houlihan play as if you don't do it immediately, you'll still use it as like a routing tool, just because it's free money.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get back to Link's house without doing it without having to save and quit. And so it does help.
Yeah, and certainly if you're ever in a position where you are, let's say, like 100 rupees short or 50 rupees short, I mean, like the time, that you would have taken Houlihan earlier, versus you're stuck for money right there and right then, is certainly, it can be quite the difference.
Yeah, because I mean, what are we? We're an hour and 16 minutes here, and Zelda has more rupees than Alaszun does, but I mean, he still has under 500, which is kind of surprising. All right, looks like we're gonna go knock out Thieves Town over on Alaszun's side here. No small keys, so we're gonna be orphaning that big chest, which is just the best feeling in this mode.
After so long, maybe if you think that your opponent will also isolate that chest, maybe you just feel more comfortable, clearing this dungeon.
True, and you never know. Like, you never know when this game is going to stick something absolutely ridiculous in Blind Cell, like the hammer or something dumb like that. Yeah. And if you put this off, speaking completely unfortunately from experience, if you put this off, it can absolutely end up with you getting unceremoniously dumped like a bad habit out of the winner's bracket.
Well, I guess good news on that front, you can only get unceremoniously dumped out of the winner's bracket once.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I mean, this is the thing though. Like, there's only one chest in logic in here, so I mean, a lot of runners will decide to, put it out of there, to put it off there. But there, at some point, it does become a bit of an issue there, because the game doesn't care that there's only one chest in logic. It could still stick something that you actually need there, and if you don't check it. So I mean, there's such a, you're trying to manage the balance there of checking it versus not checking it, because if there's nothing there and you put it off, well, you probably just hurt yourself quite badly.
Yeah, and so sometimes these checks can be, like a minute to 2 minutes, right? And then runners think, well, maybe I could save myself 1 to 2 minutes by doing this, but as you said, if something's really there, that can cost them probably upwards of like 30.
Yeah, easily.
But of course, let us not hope for misfortune, on these runners, and I hope that if they're both gonna do something, if something's here, then they're both gonna leave this behind. And actually, speaking of leaving a basement, I believe also both runners left the Hera basement, also as another fetch cost.
Yeah, no, we could get one of these incredibly fun Crosskey seeds there, where it's at the end and you've got only just a whole pile of single checks left. All right. Well, now we're gonna have Alaszun going into his nice scripted blind fight here. Not expecting him to have any problem. On the other side, we've got Zelga gonna make his way through Skullwoods. Now, actually in logic here, with the Skullwoods big key, he'll be able to pick up basically all of the 6 chests in here. As got slightly off script there on Alaszun's side. Not really a big deal, because blind is now dead.
With that boss fight, Alaszun has picked up his 3rd crystal, making steady progress. I don't believe he found anything in the back of these.
I didn't see anything there on in the maiden cell that makes you start thinking, okay, yeah, this is definitely what I wanted to do. But yeah, we saw an Ice Palace Small, but even the Ice Palace Small was still locked behind the Thieves Town Small. So, like, it's yeah, it is yet to be seen. This is although if you're a believer in just like rando timing here, what's going to end up happening is Alaszun is pretty quickly likely to find himself as the Thieves Town Small in just the next second, and then start going, I'm very angry. And nice routing over on Zelga's side here. Just going to go through and take a quick way back into the not having to walk all the way through Skullwoods yet again. They're just going to walk it back, mirror and walk back down to the portal and get right in. And we have eliminated so many things right now. And I'm starting to get to the point of like, what exactly do we have left?
Yeah, there. Despite how having found so much already, we still haven't found Pod, as we said, and in terms of items, we still haven't had a fire source or bombos for them to kind of make any progress into Ice Palace.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Looks like Zelga's going to come into Thieves Town and go ahead and clear this one out as well. Alaszun's dealing with a little bit of indecision there. It looked like he made a decision there and decided, I have something better that I want to do. One of our trackers there, Jinxie Girl, putting a pretty good idea out there. Looks like we could go do a little bit of Misery Mire. That's actually a pretty good idea there. That would be 5 check. This is 5 check, 6 checks available there.
Yeah, I had also just forgotten that Mr. Meyer actually exists. I believe that the check was so quick that I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it says, oh, but they didn't have the hook shot in order to get in, so I just never brought it up. So thank you, Jinxie, for reminding us of that.
Yeah, big shout outs to both of our trackers today there, Jinxie and Be Liberal there, clicking the buttons there and trying to keep us a little bit more honest. And, you know, it's a job that requires more focus than you would think.
Oh yeah, no, tracking by itself, you know, for a normal non-cross keys is already challenging enough. I mean, to track cross keys, so you try to track entrances, small keys, and big keys. I mean, it's you know, we should definitely pay them more. What do you think? 2x the salary? 3x the salary?
I mean, we should probably maybe pay them.
Oh, okay.
If we're getting more, just here's a cookie. Shoot, I could take a cookie right now.
That's a cookie to go with some tea. That sounds actually quite lovely.
I'm enjoying this. As you can see, we're both of the runners are right now retracing something that they've already done. So that's why we're being goofs. I get paid in the souls of the runners whose seeds I've rolled. Jinxie?
Jinxie! Whoa! I was not expecting that.
I mean, that's fair. This is a Jinxie seed so far, and it is kind of acting like one. Yeah, just bombs and blind cell here, so that's not going to be the answer for our runners here. As oh, Nori rolled the seed. Oh, I thought Jinxie rolled the seed. Okay, never mind. Well, either way, it's been an interesting seed right now, and from where we are right now. There's kind of 2 options that I'm kind of seeing available. You can either go to Meyer, like what's suggested there, or you can. There's a couple of checks still available in the pod area that we haven't done yet. Meyer is probably the more likely play, but one of the things is that we haven't seen Pipe Cave yet, so if you're going to be checking entrances, you can kind of gamble that. We haven't seen Sasharala yet either.
Have we also found GC?
We haven't found GT either, so I mean there's arguments to be made for just going and checking the Dark World sides of the pod area, basically.
Yeah, and certainly that is one area that, as you said, you know, wasn't unlocked until they found the pearl. You know, so Kiki, being the very friendly monkey that he is, he will not follow you unless you have the pearls, because he just really wants something that's shiny to follow.
Yeah, and other than that, like I'm going through my little cheat sheet here. Like I've got everything sitting in front of me, and there's not a whole lot of other options.
Can you so I might have missed this on either runner. Did they check Stumpy at all?
Yep, they've been to Stumpy. They've been to Stumpy. They've been to all of the basically open, easy places to go to here. All right, now Zelda is going to go ahead and break over to the Laser Eye entrance here in Turtle Rock. Now, this is going to be interesting. This is something we haven't seen yet, and the reason is because it's terrible. Okay, cool.
You know, it's always not as fun to kind of hope that your two-way trip is your round trip really is just a one-way.
All right, we found a library over in the pod area there that just has a map on it, and the runners are not going to be interested in that. Especially since Alaszun already somehow has all of the pendant information there, so there we go. I can see both of the runners right now having this kind of moment of looking for a couple of other things, not finding them, and just kind of being very annoyed by it. Because Yeah, Zelga just went all the way back up the mountain there to check one single connector that he hadn't seen yet, and found out that it was just there. And there you go. There's Hype Cave sitting in pod. With some bombs. Compass. Okay, game. Ah, there we are. Alright, so we got mitts now. That opens up a couple more options to other runners here. Nothing huge, but that's going to give you a smith chain, and it's going to give you the entrance to Ice Palace.
And also will not make your trip that Zelda was spit out at King's Tomb a one-way if you so choose.
Right.
Oh, no, but they don't know. He doesn't have the boots. Never mind. It's still a one-way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now Zelga is in Misery Mire here, so we're gonna get some brand new checks. In here. So like we said before, Zelga's gonna have access to 4 chests in Logic and 2 more that are still out of Logic. But at this point, you don't care what's in Logic and what's out of Logic. You just want the items.
Yeah, given what their current options are, and as we said, Zelda, pretty much walked all the way to the mountain for one thing in order to kind of have a 4-item in Logic availability, plus 2 more out of Logic, like being rewarded by finding a flute, is certainly much more lucrative for him.
Yeah, no, that flute's a big deal, but not quite yet for Zelda. He still needs to go over into the pod area and get the mitts out of the pod entrance there, out of Hype Cave. And at that point, we're gonna have something, because that'll open up the entire mire area and the entire desert area, which is quite nice to find there. Oof, Zelda got to be careful there. Those bomb slugs hurt.
Yeah, even being on blue mail, those guys can pack quite the punch.
Yeah, they don't look like they should hurt, but man, they are painful enemies to run into. Alright, we're gonna get a little cutscene over on Zelga's side here. I guess it's from what I was told at some point here, it's all of the cutscenes are pretty much the same. They're a full 17 seconds of just sitting there and waiting for the wall that you can't see to move off screen.
Maybe when the game developers originally made these cutscenes, they were thinking like, the first one was so good at Desert. Why don't we just keep adding a couple more to Pod and Mire, just in case they forgot how good the first one was.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's dramatic.
Certainly hammers home the point of lighting all 4 torches.
All right, now so we're on our way here in Alaszun's side here to the back of Skullwoods. We're gonna go ahead and get a moth fight as well.
So given that Alaszun now has, looks like 9 hearts, hammer, blue mail, this fight should hopefully go a bit easier than his previous situation with Mothula.
Yeah, well, Mothula is kind of playing a little nice for Alaszun. I mean, not super great there. Hugged the spikes a little bit, but Alaszun took him down without too much problems here. He's going to get himself a small key to Gannett's Tower and then get on with it here. And
okay. What a convenient find! The big key to Misery Mire is in its Frenchman location inside the dungeon.
More importantly, though, Zelda picked up a fire rod to go along with it there. So, our tracker there, Jinxie, give a little bit of praise to there, because that was a good call, because that has opened up quite a bit. I am actually right now sitting here trying to remember exactly where on earth Misery Mire is.
You figured I would remember after seeing it twice.
I swear both times I've been looking at the other player's screen and just kind of thank you Jinxie. I'm looking at the other player's screen when somebody walked in there.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like Alassun's going to give us the Smith's chain, as you mentioned, that he's chasing these mitts that he just found.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun that we're now over an hour and 30 minutes into the seed, and we're still sitting here with a nice fun fighter sword.
At least the game was very nice and gave us silver very early.
Yeah, I mean, as much fun as fighter sword Vitreous is, silver arrow Vitreous is much easier. We'll call it that. As he is now exploding, and that's going to be crystal number 4 for Zelda there. Kind of moving along here at a pretty good clip at this point, at this rate.
Yeah, certainly. I'm sure that Zelda most likely was not expecting to be able to full clear Mire, when he originally made the dip, and alongside to pick up a fire rod.
Well, and here's the fun thing: Alaszun is just about to go into Skullwoods himself here. Not Skullwoods, but Swamp Palace himself. Misery Mire. There we go. 3rd time's a charm. Misery Mire himself.
It was Swamp entrance.
I was gonna get there. But so we're gonna go into here, and now Zelda is. I mean, I can't fault Zelda's decision here because this makes sense. You've just opened up the fire rod. You have everything that you need to complete this dungeon. It is a green pendant. That's the only kind of knock against it, but it's 8 items. I can 100% agree with what he's doing here. Thing is, chances are those mitts are going to lead to something pretty good in the Mire area. And ooh, hey, fun! It's the small key to Tower of Hera.
Just in case when you weren't sick of watching cutscenes.
Yeah. I mean, that one's a little bit. I mean, at least they make a pretty design out of it, right?
That is certainly true. Well, but yes, you are certainly correct. And so at least from Zelda's perspective, though, because there are 8 items available, he's probably hoping that Ice Palace actually has the mitts here, that Alaszun had found earlier in Hype Cave.
And a little bit, and to go even a little bit further here, like we're still missing quite a bit for Go Mode. I mean, oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we just running through it really fast here. Pod Big Key, Swamp Small Key, Ice Rod. Well, is that it? Yeah, well, swords.
So certainly at least one. Not sure if we need boots yet. I'm sure they'll always want the boots if they can have it.
Right. Not necessarily Swamp Small Key, because Swamp is a pendant, right? So we don't necessarily need that, but come on now.
Speaking of a sword, Zelda just picked up his Master Sword at Ice Palace.
Alright, so there's one thing off the list that we don't need quite yet. Zelda going for it.
Trying. Yeah, he was trying to get the clip, but it wasn't quite as successful.
Yeah, you got to be going in at I think it's a diagonal angle or something when you go through there like that. It looks cool. It saves a couple of frames, but it can actually, like in certain cases, if you do it just the wrong way, as Alaszun has now picked up his flute and is going to have access to the Mire area here pretty quick. If you do it just wrong, you can actually end up killing yourself.
Oh, actually, just like a full death? Because I've definitely seen that you get hurt like a heart, but you can actually die?
I think, yeah, if you get stuck in it in the wrong way.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that's kind of like hard locking yourself in off a laser bridge or something. Like, you need to be just obscenely unlucky. All right, we got a map to Desert Palace there, to Dark Palace there. Yeah, out of the Ice Palace big chest, we're gonna go ahead and go beat us up a cold stare real fast. Get the green pendant as well, just in case, just for that moment that when we go ahead and find Sasharala.
Yeah, with Fire Rod, half magic, Blue Mail, and Master Sword, I don't really imagine Zelda having too much of an issue with this fight. Probably not his first time with this output.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay, probably. Now, kind of a good thing for Alaszun. He noticed that his health was kind of low here. He decided that he's gonna go around maybe a bit of a longer way there to go pick up the rest of the items instead of trying to... Or he just forgot the big chest. Alright, he just forgot the big chest.
Either way, he's gonna live.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought he had forgotten the bridge chest there, but turns out no, it was the big chest, which is more important. All right, and down goes Cold Stare over on Zelga's side, and we're that much closer to that fabled Ped Seed that people were talking about earlier.
Cold Stare did end up dropping another small key to pod, so once we end up finding the Palace of Darkness, we can certainly make a lot of progress into that dungeon.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked for this to turn into another one of those, hey, the big key to the dungeon is actually in the dungeon.
I mean, if it already happened once, it certainly has precedence to happen again.
Oh, I mean, I think I've had seeds where it's happened 2 or 3 times in the seed, and I think once you get to like the third time, you're just sitting there going, "Game, come on now, try harder."
I would like a better RNG, please. Now, Ashes has either runner actually been to the desert area to begin with? I know they've been right outside, but I don't know if they've actually gone to like Agina's cave location.
But they have been to Agina's cave. Agina's cave right now is where the bomb shop is, and okay. Zelda making a pretty smart little play here, and it's just going, you know what? I've got this small key. I'm here. Let me take care of this immediately, because this is not something you want to leave if you can, because if it turns into something good, this place right here can win you a match real easy. As, whew, that was a quick fight over on Alaszun's side there with those silver arrows, and down goes Vitreous.
Yeah, a very, opportune or inopportune heart refill on his side. Picking up the heart piece that refilled and gave him an extra heart container. Alright, looks like Alaszun, with the flute in hand, probably is going to make a beeline to Kakariko to activate that flute, and most likely will hit off some Meyer area.
Just bombs there in Hera basement there, so nothing great for Zelda this time here, but instead we're going to make our way somewhere. Oh, where is he going? Turtle Rock? Yeah, okay. I guess he's going to make his way back into Turtle Rock here.
Oh, he has 2 more checks he can look after for the Fire Rod lock side at the beginning.
Oh, that is such a long walk.
Well, I guess it's in logic.
Yeah, okay. Well, Alaszun's going to give us also a little bit more information here as he's opened up the hammer pegs and he's finding just a gambling game there. So, yep, that's going to be a quick 180 and get out of there. But we're going to pick up this purple chest. And
yes, certainly having had done the smith chain, or at least returned the blacksmith to his original location, this is a really nice combination of routing by Alaszun. And
he's going to go ahead and activate his flute, and Zelda now has is making his way over to check out this. Now, the thing with Zelga right now is he needs to get over to the pod area because that's where he's going to go ahead and find his mitts. Right now, he's knocking out things that he's got left. Understandably so, because this is... There's not really that many entrances left for Zelga to check. Like, if he's been keeping track, he should know that he still has Hype Cave available and still got Sasharala available. So, and GT for that matter. But, you know, if you 100% know where the... Ooh, that's an Ice Rod on purple chest.
Oh, that is actually a really good find for Alaszun.
Yeah, that's a great find.
Yeah, given how deep in, well, I mean, it's pretty deep in logic, you know, like the fact, because now, you know, Zelga, after he picks up the mitts, has to do blacksmith, right, in order to get the purple chest, in order to get the ice rod. You know, once he kind of gets these mitts, as he's, you know, headed to now, most likely he's just going to certainly make his way to the Mire area, and then it's just very easy to kind of forget the smith chain at that point.
Definitely. Now, if I saw that right, that looked like it was a Bombos on the Mire entrance here. So that's the one medallion that we don't have. And Alaszun has found Pod there sitting in the Mire shed. And we find a key to Castle Tower. Oh, that's that. And so, Game, did you put something on the bat today? Because that's what's hanging out in the lumberjack drop.
Now, according to our trackers here for Alaszun's side, looks like he has 3 pod keys as opposed to Zelga's 4, so he will have a little bit less access and most likely have to make a decision for what he wants to check in pod.
Zelga working on his chest turns there in in Hype Cave. You know, we saw that. Looking at this right now, I've got to think that the GT entrance is just going to be sitting here somewhere in this area. As we finally get the desert ledge check there on Zelga's side there, find out that it's a heart container. I don't think either of these runners are going to take the extra time to walk down and pick that up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, at least, you know, from their perspective, probably Blue Mail is already, you know, pretty great increase of, you know, safety as is. They probably, you know, don't need any more unless, you know, it has to be directly in their way and they're opening up a chest for it. Oh, hey, speaking of nice upgrades, Alaszun has actually pulled out his Master Sword from Pod. This will be Zelga's Temper Sword because he had already played at Ice Palace.
That's going to be an interesting thing to see at some point, is if we end up finding another sword there, because the difference between a Master Sword and a Tempered Sword is gigantic, but the difference between a Tempered Sword and a Butter Sword is, you know, much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're grabbing just a bottle with a B in it here, as looks like Zelga is going to go ahead and make his way directly to the back first. This is where most of the items are, but he'll definitely end up checking the Bowlock side here in just a minute as well. As nothing in the dark so far. Now it looks like that is one big, like you mentioned, that's one big advantage that Zelga's going to have over Alaszun here, is having that extra key. He's going to probably check the Harmless Hellway, where Alaszun is just going to end up having to kind of orphan that and hope that it's nothing.
That was a really nice bomb jump there on Alaszun's side.
Yeah, a lot of runners don't like doing it coming down, just because the kind of punishment for doing it on the way down, if you mess it up there, is you get sent back. The floor falls all the way down there. You actually have to walk back to the dark basement area and eat all of that time there. So, you know, a lot of runners, including myself, tend to go ahead and walk all the way down and just basically walk all the way down into the main pod area there and then walk back up, just in case you mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, certainly to spend an extra like, like if you're much more comfortable kind of spending that extra, whatever, 5, ish seconds to kind of, walk down the screen and, just in case something goes wrong, I think it's just definitely, it's much more worth it, right? Because then, as you said, you're losing like, upwards of like 30 seconds to like 45.
Yeah, you don't want that to be you don't want to do that there, especially if, God forbid, you mess it up twice, you'll just start crying.
Oh no.
Alright, Zelga's... Neither runner is finding anything in pod. Now, we did find the Thief's Town small key, but that's not something that I think either runner is going to be in any sort of hurry to go and get yet, because that's at the moment locked behind all 6 pod keys, and we're not there yet. We're still missing GT, so...
Yeah, to kind of basically redo, Thieves Town twice, right? Just for one item, I'm sure is not quite on top. It's the highest priority thing to do, for these runners.
Yeah, and man, I don't know what else we should be looking at here. I guess we're gonna have one final check here in kind of the mire area. We're gonna go up and check the main Desert Palace entry here. And find it's just a shop, and that's going to be a save and quit, so I think we're going to probably we got to start thinking about maybe the Ice Palace entrance, the TR entrance.
I know, Dan, you are absolutely correct. I don't think I saw the runner go into the Ice Palace entrance.
Yeah, because I've got my tracker up here to kind of try to keep an eye on exactly what's been checked and what's not, and man, there's the vanilla Skull Woods entrance, which is just a whole barrel of fun to get back to at this point.
That's right. I had also forgotten that both runners clear the front of Skull Woods, but none of the runners have been to the back. Oh, actually, and speaking of something new that Alaszun can do that Zelda cannot, he had pulled out the ice rod from the purple chest after the Smith sequence. So looks like Trinex will be able to give us another item.
And it's for just a complete change of pace here. Trinex is going to be killed 100% in logic because Alaszun has all 4 keys and the big key to TR.
That's right.
Usually you kill them and you've only found like maybe one small key and you're just like, good enough. Yeah, hammer Trinex there on Alaszun's side there, showing it off there pretty well. The biggest thing is once you kind of learn the spacing for those first couple of hits, you'll be able to take them out pretty easily there. Now, if Alaszun wants, he's got half magic. You can just sit there and spam the fire rod as much as you want on the ice head, and that'll take him down pretty quick. And looks like the Ice Palace entry was a bust.
Yeah, probably at this point, neither runner is looking to add in more rupees to their collection.
I mean, magic is a thing. Is that going to be a pod? Oh my god.
That would be our second Castle Tower Smoky. Thanks, game. Something I've always looked forward to. Well, it could be a good reminder to at least go back to Castle Tower to get the second item.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing that I'm thinking of, because I mean, I will just break into uncontrollable laughter if if it turns out that there's actually something on the bat. But we're not there yet. We need powder first anyway, because both runners have turned in their mushroom already. They got one of their pod keys out of that. But yeah, that was a spicy meatball there. That's for sure.
So we just kind of saw Zelda here doing his hammer pegs. Unfortunately, he had not done the smith sequence and turned his blacksmith friend yet, so when he eventually goes to his purple chest, this will be a little bit time given back to Alaszun, who was able to kind of combine all of this stuff in one trip.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate parts about doing the smith chain in entrance is you've got to figure out where the smith is, and today he's in one of the caves there north of Lake Hylia Island. I mean, luckily we've got the flute.
Our one mobility item, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. All right, so we're over on Alaszun's side. He's gonna show us here what is hiding in the TR entrance now, and this has got to be something good, I think. Oh, hi, Spike Cave.
You know, after Zelda had found that, like 15 minutes into the seed, and now it's an hour and 55 minutes into the seed, I had forgotten that Spike Cave existed. But perhaps this, this also serve as a reminder for Zelda that, yes, he does in fact have Spike Cave to go back to. Alaszun has decided that he is also going to dip Ice Palace. Will certainly pull out his tempered sword. I'm sorry, yes. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah. I don't remember if there was anything else of note in Ice Palace. Oh, that's right, a small key Hera, but that turns out to be nothing, so I think I just wrote that off. Of course, Alaszun doesn't know that, so I'm sure that he will also be thinking that he can go back to take a break in Hera Basement after this.
That should be a good time for him. Alright, so it looks like Zelda is he's making his way over to where Spike Cave is. Spike Cave is right now sitting in the Spectacle Rock entrance. And yeah, we're gonna grab whatever this item is here. Watch it be. I don't know. See, like at this point, I'm so curious because
we are certainly missing a good amount of Y items, right? Just looking at our trackers.
I'm gonna say boots right now.
Oh, so close.
I'm very wrong. Okay, cool.
Oh. It really does make you wonder, right? Like where all these, items are. We don't even have another festival. We haven't had the shovel yet, right? To lead us to something else.
Yeah, that's true. No shovel yet. Like at this point, yeah. We're down to back of Skullwoods.
Looks like that is exactly where Zelda's headed.
I mean, this is one thing. Zelda has been, a little bit more efficient with his routing up to this point here. The mire area there with the mitts and stuff. It really seemed like we were going to find more over there besides a basically empty pod. So. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, if the back of Skullwoods here isn't... I don't think he meant to do that. Or did he? Is this faster?
I also thought he did not mean to do this, because it looked like he was trying to skirt out of it, but perhaps he just got sucked in.
I mean, or he actually knew that entrance led to... Yeah, okay, no, he did not mean to do that.
These guys have been playing Boots for 2 hours now, so chances are maybe he, is has a bit of a slip.
At some point, your brain is just like, okay, you know what? We can stop now. We don't need to keep doing this. All right. I mean, if this isn't GT, I'm gonna just sit here and shrug my shoulders.
Oh,
there it is.
You have prescience.
Well, I mean, there was literally almost nothing else.
Literally almost nothing left, of course.
Yeah, I mean, unless it was just a single item cave with the boots sitting in it, I mean, it was going to have to be GT.
Alright, yeah, it looks like, Zelda, with his choice of direction for, where he wants to go, he's going to tackle almost as if we're playing a non-cross-key seed and routing GT, doing right side first.
Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. You go this way. I don't know if he'll pick up the small key out after it, but yeah, he could. If he wants, he could just go full right. I mean, there's some options here with how he wants to do it. There's not necessarily a bad way. There's slightly slower ways, as Alaszun has gone and taken down Cold Stare himself here on a very nice fight, picked up his green pendant to a Sasharella that we still have not seen.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Zelda actually is mirroring out and didn't pick up his small key.
Kind of a good thing, I would say, for these runners, and I'm saying this very, very quietly, knowing that it's probably going to show up in a second, is we have not found the GT big key yet.
It's more of those, like, see no evil, hear no evil type of thing, right? If you never find GT big key, maybe you don't have to climb. Zelda showing us the curse of sword games in this room.
Zelda going for the standard bonk across the pits there in GT before unfortunately realizing that, oh yeah, right, still don't have boots.
Unfriendly spikes today.
Yeah, you get thrown off your rhythm there sometimes because you come through this room 500 times. You almost always have boots with it, so you just come through, everything's fine, and then you kind of get down there and you autopilot to the, your A button, and then you realize nothing's happening.
Yeah, probably one of the more uncomfortable execution is when you're trying to climb GT, like the gauntlet, and you don't have boots, right? As you said, you almost always have boots, like when you're in that situation, right? So you just lose all of your muscle memory.
Yeah, I mean, then that's one of the things that kind of separates some of the higher level runners from others is just it's the ability to adapt to situations like that. It's rough sometimes.
So far, nothing really in GT so far. Oh my gosh!
All right.
Wait, you were saying something really quietly before, right?
Good night, everybody.
Is it morning where you are, Days?
Yeah, it's almost lunchtime actually.
Oh. I'm certainly hoping you have worked up an appetite here.
Oh man, yeah. No, this is starting to get kind of silly here. We're officially into the 2-hour part of the seed where both runners are undoubtedly feeling amazing about how the seed has gone. As have just pulled out the item for the back of the castle tower drop, and yep, that ain't gonna work. All right, and the ability to climb GT. Things are going great for these guys right now.
And certainly don't forget that there's still an item sitting in the Thieves' Town big chest. Okay, so apparently all of our money, Ganon was just hoarding money in his tower. I believe Zelda also skipped Tile Room in GT, so hopefully he will not have forgotten that on his way up.
And we get a small key to Desert Palace. Well, that opens up a couple of other things here. And yep, I'm okay. Yep, we've got to do a. We're gonna do our.
Looks like we're gonna get simultaneous tile rooms here.
Yeah, it looks like it. We'll be about half and half there on the tile rooms.
It looks like Alaszun is going to choose to kind of kill these tiles, using his boomerang. Curious if Zelda's going to take a small break and use his cape here.
I'm not surprised to see the boomerang strats here. I don't know if they're actually faster, but I love doing them. Oh, good.
Something that opens up More fresh quests.
Oh man. Yeah, so remember we were saying earlier about like this might be one of those seeds where you get to the very end of it and you're dealing with a whole bunch of like single locations. Well, there's the book. And I do not blame Zelda for this at all. We're climbing GT. I mean, you got 4 keys, you got the big key. You're gonna do this. Lin is actually probably putting out a pretty decent scream to the ether right now about mirroring out and checking ped real fast, but little late now.
Yes, certainly. As you said, like the fact that Zelda, has. Well, actually, as you said, what, like 2 hours ago, something like that. Uncle dropped his behind Aga 2. So there's, in addition to the 5 items here in GT Tower itself, we'll also get access to 2 more items afterwards.
Yeah, so I mean, this is turning out to this is kind of turning out to be a full like 29 item GT. So fun. Well, as we approach the 2-hour point with both runners in GT climbing this, again, I will, say this: if you haven't already done this, go ahead and make sure you give these runners a follow there. Just through their Twitch channels into chat there, they would definitely appreciate it. And if you're looking for high level play, I mean, these guys are really great at this. Also, big shout out to our trackers today there, Be Liberal and Jinxie Girl there for doing this. Our restreamer, Norinato there, always big thank yous. And also thank you to my co-com today, Clear Mouse.
Oh, and surely, I certainly want to thank you, Days, for sticking with the scene and just being an awesome, company, and getting our runners all through the scene.
Oh man, it is being quite a seed right now as Zelda goes ahead and takes down Landmo 2 there, and we're most of the way up our tower as Alaszun gets the news that you're probably going to end up doing the same thing in just a second. I'm trying to think if there's any other play at this point besides climbing GT, and I'm thinking like the only other play that you would make if you're being just a complete crazy gambler would be to go and run over to Aga.
Yeah, I was even thinking that too, especially after Alaszun had just picked up the powder and he has both Castle Tower small keys. I'm sure that's something that is on his mind and he's considering.
To answer a quick check question here, the whole idea is you want to get you're wanting to save this 7 maidens. You're wanting to get the crystals here to do that, and of course boots are at the top of GT. Makes sense.
What a great spot for the boots.
Right, and when you get all 7 crystals there, that basically makes Ganon vulnerable. If you you can go to Ganon early in this mode. And that opens up the mire. Oh wow, so that's all the entrances now outside of the big bomb. Ganon will be vulnerable now once you get all 7 crystals there. Okay, so we're gonna go finish this off on this. Now, Alaszun has somehow heard Lin's screams, went out, checked ped, and found out is nothing.
Yeah, certainly. I hope that Alaszun will eventually go back and climb GT.
Oh, he's got to. There's no reason not to climb GT here. I kind of feel like there's a pretty good chance that I think I can see it. This is a time where like you're 2 hours plus into a Crosskeys seed, and in this tournament, there are many runners capable of doing it within like an hour and 40 minutes. Now this seed, there's no way you're doing this seed in an hour and 40 minutes. That's just not happening. You know, if you had the spoiler log, I don't know if you finished it in an hour and 40.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think even if you know where everything is, you still it's just that you don't get boots until so late. You don't get flute was buried pretty late. Hookshot was buried pretty late, right? It's just you don't have any mobility.
Like it's this seed is being kind of mean here. Now we've got a few more options ahead of us now. We've opened up basically 5 more checks from that GT climb. We're gonna get the 2 items. We're gonna get the 2 items here. But you can see it on both runners. That there's some strain being on there. You're not gonna call it tilt by any means. It's just like it's a lot of times it's almost pure exhaustion.
Oh yeah. I mean, one thing that Crosskeys really trains you for is it really just helps you build endurance.
Yeah, like because you just got to keep going sometimes. Like I mean, the game can be mean, and there we go. That's there's a required GT climb to get your at the moment only 5th pod key. All right, we're popping in, and we found the back of Desert Palace. So, yep, we had to climb GT to get those boots for sure.
At least these runners are now at a point where, because they already have, a good amount of equipment and keys and accessibility, they can just go knock out their crystals, very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one nice thing when you get to the end of a Crosskeys seed. Crosskeys can be very, very weird, where it feels like you're making no progress. Oh, I'm in go mode. Like it can change on the drop of a hat. Alaszun is just not having any luck walking by things today. Like they always notice him at the last second and just crush him.
You're almost to the booth, Alaszun. Just a couple more rooms.
Yeah, he's using one of my favorite strats, which is just take Burna and just go, all right, fine, I'm walking right through the middle of these guys. All right, and there's going to be land mode 1 down over on... I was stunned that wasn't a pod key on Zelga's side there, so that's going to be crystal number 6. So it's almost over, Zelga, if you can find the pod big key. And the... Oh wait, no, with crystal number 5, yeah, that's right. He's still got to get the ice rod out of the purple chest.
Yes, certainly that's something that we hope that he doesn't isolate. Because they got he got the myths so late, and he already did the blacksmith. And he has actually quite a bit of stuff now. Open to him. He has tablets. He has bonk locations. It's just very easy to kind of like leave the purple chest. Basically as a one-off.
And here we go. Here's Sasharala. We're going to turn it in. We're going to get a small key to pod. So now all 6 keys are potting. Are potting. Are available.
They are potting.
And there's the one you didn't want to see. But never mind.
Yes.
All right. So big key to Dark Palace there. So okay. So he's now... Yeah, he's now... Oh, that's terrible. That's actually awful.
He's on his official Ice Rod hunt, correct?
Yeah, and what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to do Purple Chest, or are you going to end up choosing to do...
Swamp?
Yeah.
That he just got the Swamp key. And he still has tablets to do. I mean, yeah, he has, I think, too many options at this point.
Yeah, this is just one of those unfortunate things there. This is I'm gonna say, not saying that this is Alaszun's seed to lose at this point, but Alaszun has a big advantage here. Because
of course, right. I mean, of course, the variance is certainly still very high. Because logically, it's we think that Zelda, will certainly go to the high density areas. But of course, we don't actually know what Zelda's thinking.
Yeah, I mean but you get that Swampala small key, and you've been just thinking about it and thinking about it. And this is one time where, again, Zelga not checking the pedestal there. It's going to give him even more reason to go in to do that because, you know, now Swamp is going to have 11 items behind it instead of, you know, the 10 in there. So he's gonna, this is really unfortunate for him here. He's gonna end up checking the big chest here. He's gonna end up doing just a whole bunch of things that are not gonna help him. Now, on the other hand, Alaszun is gonna come straight across North Hyrule here. He's not gonna check King's Tomb because he's already been spit out of that, but he's gonna end up over at Bonk Rocks. And the moment that he ends up at Bonk Rocks, that's going to be go mode for him, and he'll be done in no time. I thought he had checked King's Tomb. Oh no, Zelga had checked King's Tomb.
Yeah, I think Zelga was the one who got spit out of King's Tomb, and then he couldn't go back. Right, yeah, it was certainly a very nice helmet fight there on Zelga's side. I'm sure he's hoping that this is the Ice Rod. It's kind of blue and round, I guess.
It did say ice. All right, and so that's going to put this at about 2 hours, and we'll just round up here. 2 hours and 14 minutes here. We're going to say Alaszun has now hit go mode. Well, not quite go mode. He hasn't found Desert Palace yet. There is a world where it takes him a little bit longer to check that. Not this world, apparently. He's going directly there.
Yeah, all of the entrances. I mean, you know, he is an item go mode, right? And if he's only looking for entrances, the only thing that he has left are block locations.
Yeah, and kind of smartly, he decided that, you know what, I can check these entrances very quickly. Let me do this before I go into pod here. So yeah, this should probably give Alaszun the win here, unless something crazy happens, because Zelga is going to be sinking at least 5 minutes in this dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I was just thinking, well, maybe, you know, something will kill Zelda, but, you know, with 17 hearts and blue mail.
and blue mail.
Yeah, probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, surprise! It's Randomizer, and there's a wall master in here.
You know, sometimes this is kind of how Crosskeys goes, right? You know, I think as we mentioned before, you know, probably like an hour and a half ago, right? You know, it just sometimes depends on the sequence in which you get things, right? In this case, Alaszun ended up finding his mids slightly earlier than Zelda, and because he was only chasing mid locations at the time, because those were pretty much his only options, he pretty much was shoehorned into doing Smith Chain and Purple Chest, whereas, you know, after Zelga found the mids, he had already found the flutes. So then he was basically in the chase at the Maya area at that point, and then, you know, it's just very easy to kind of get the purple chest lost in the shuffle.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's kind of just the unfortunate thing. I mean, that's Rando in a nutshell. Crosskeys can be a little bit more brutal about the order that you find things than the others, than your standard seeds are, because standard seeds you can usually get back to it a little bit easier. Crosskeys is like, hey, here's the key that you probably should have gotten before this, and you didn't get it in the right order, so congratulations, you're going to be 30 minutes behind your opponent.
So at least to counter some of those variants, you know, right now, you know, we are in the best of 3 stages, so, you know, even though it looks like Alaszun will take game 1, there is still very much a game 2 for these guys to play, and certainly thinking that Zelga's going to hope for game 3.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the thing is, Zelga, like they're saying in chat, there, Zelga did nothing wrong. I mean. Oh
yeah, no. I mean, Zelga is, you know, top player for this. You know, he just happened to make some slightly decisions in different sequence for this game.
Right, and doing purple chest at the time that he did it there, like, I mean, he gets mitts. He has all of the Mire area open, right? And it's kind of like we were saying earlier there, you kind of expected something to be there. I mean, something besides just an empty pod. So of course, yeah, you're not going to waste time dragging purple chest all the way back. You had to flute to a different part of the thing. That's one of the biggest reasons why doing the smith chain in entrance can be really annoying. Is, you know, in the other game, the purple chest is right next to you. Here, you had flute back, get your portal back, and then do that. So there's the third pendant there for Zelga. Now he's gonna. God, you kind of hope that he doesn't go and and go left side here, but he probably is. Yeah, there he goes.
I mean, certainly, you know, from his perspective, there's not going to be a better time to, you know, to do left side.
No. Unfortunately, probably about the time that he finishes left side is going to be about the time that Alaszun is most of the way through his Ganon fight, or at least to his Ganon fight. Interesting. Alaszun went ahead and I must have done it on his climb there, but he turned off his silver arrows. There, that does, turning off your silver arrows there actually does save yourself quite a bit of it saves yourself a decent amount of lag there, and you don't really need the silvers outside of you know, the bosses there. Most of the enemies will actually just die to a single arrow shot.
Yeah, I think you pretty much just need to experience the lag of silver arrows once to, you know, really be very interested to figure out how to turn the silver arrows.
Yeah, well, he's got him back on now because he's going to go fight Ganon, and you actually want him for this, so going to flute to 3, and he's going to make his way up to the Lost Woods to go ahead, and he's got a date with a pig.
Also very nice that he has at least 4 arrows for Ganon. You know, sometimes, you know, even though runners have picked up the silver arrows, just, you know, due to, you know, the sequence of which maybe, you know, they fight bosses, maybe they fight Vitreous, you know, or Armos right before this, where sometimes they don't have enough arrows to actually, you know, use for Ganon, and they have to go out and like find arrows somewhere else.
Yeah, I've maybe done that a few hundred times.
Oh, a few hundred? Oh, okay.
it's a bad feeling. Not gonna lie. Bad feeling. Alright, we're already into phase 2 here, and Alaszun has just got one of the better Ganon setups here possible there, sitting in the top left corner there. You can just sit right behind him and cape him till the cows come home there, and we're already into phase 3. Alright, Ganon's going to throw a little bit of a temper tantrum right now here. Alaszun's going to smack him with the sword a couple of times, and we'll get on to phase 4, and we can go ahead and finish this lovely seed.
Lovely seed. Thanks, Nori.
I was going to let Alaszun say that one.
Oh, okay. I'm sure there is plenty of thing for Nori to go around.
Gonna get the double there? Yep, sure enough, we did, and that's gonna be Alaszun's. That's gonna be Alaszun's game here as soon as he crosses the line here, and that is, yep, there we go. There, Alaszun has finished now in first place there with a very interesting time of exactly 2 minutes and 21 seconds, exactly.
2 hours and 21 minutes, is that what we said?
2 hours and 21 minutes, there we go.
GG's to Alaszun, you know, he ran a really good seed.
Yep, and we are actually now joined by him. Yep, there, GG's Alaszun.
Thank you. I did not deserve to win that one. I played really, really bad that seed. And I'm pretty sure Zelga did a lot more of the seed than I did.
To be honest, to be honest, both of you guys ended up having to go pretty much everywhere.
I think I've got, let's see, by my count, I've got Big Key of Tower of Hera, both tablets. I never found the Hammer Pigs entrance, which was probably at Bombo, or it was probably at Meyer. And I didn't do Swamp, and I didn't do the second chest in Aga. And also Magic Bat. But even so, like, I took a lot of really dumb deaths, and I mean, you could tell, like, I wasn't feeling great at the end, because my execution was just, like, super shoddy.
I mean, towards the end there, both of you were looking a bit like you were definitely getting that plus 2 hours cross keys sort of feel to it there, you know, where occasionally you're missing an arrow shot or something like that. But I mean, to be honest, like both of you, the biggest difference kind of unfortunately came to you ended up finding your mitts before you found your flute.
That was about what I kind of figured was maybe my one saving grace, is that ice rod didn't lock anything, and it opened up, like, the mitts opened up the rest of the game once you got the flute and mire. And so I was kind of holding on to hope that maybe that was what had happened, and I guess it turned out it had.
Yeah, because the moment you both pulled that ice rod out of the purple chest, it was like, oh, that's a kind of a big deal.
Yeah, because I felt really, really behind at that point. And then I pulled the S, and I'm like, that's a kind of nasty placement in this seed. And I was able to turn that in relatively efficiently as part of activating my flute, and so it felt kind of good, ignoring that the rest of the seed felt terrible, and I'm sitting there like, please let me find desert, please let me find desert, I don't want to have to climb. And then, of course, I had to climb anyway. Like, it was, yeah. I had a couple things left, but it was a non-decision.
Right. I mean, there was pretty much, like, I think, like, the only thing else you could have done at that point would have been to go climb, you know, go do Aga and get to the magic bat, and even then it was just kind of like, yeah, no, that's a silly. Yeah. Silly
it was Aga for 2 items, or tablets for 2 items that were spread out, Tower of Hera for 1 item, or the climb for 7 items.
Easy decision to make there.
I literally thought about bailing as soon as I got my boots. I saw them like, oh, this is gutsy, but you feel way behind. And I mean, ultimately, it would have been the right play, although I would have been real sweating when it came to check that last boots entrance that had the desert, since I would have left it with before Bombos if I did that. But I'm glad I didn't. It was good for my blood pressure. Although none of this seed was good for my blood pressure.
Well, no doubt there.
Very, very rude sequence for that Moon Pearl. Like, given how you had to get to East Dark World, I mean, the ideal play would have been to fake flipper to Zora when you couldn't have had a Moon Pearl or couldn't have had Boot, so there was no way for you to, like, actually give yourself Water Walk from the cave, which is kind of a dicey play. But, yeah, that was... Oh, hi, Zelga. You're joining us.
Yeah, I was about to bring him in there. Welcome into Zelga there. GG's there, bud.
GG, Zelga.
Yeah, GG. This was really stupid, but, you know, that's what happened.
I mean, I basically slammed my face into the wall the entire seed, but I lucked out enough to find my mitts before I found my flute. And then it was just a matter of, like, okay, well, I need to activate my flute, so I may as well turn in purple chest. And that kind of saved me at that point.
Yeah, I found the Eastern Big Key and the Cape as soon as I left the pyramid.
Same.
I found the mitts was my basically next to last entrance. The only other option being where GT was in Skull Woods, which that became my absolute last entrance.
Yeah, that was my absolute last entrance. I was looking for the ability to get into Desert Palace, and I was like, all right, well, if it's not here, I need either Boots or Bombos.
Yeah, pretty much everything went wrong. It sounds like it pretty much did for you as well. But
yeah.
And I'm not surprised given some of these item layouts. But yeah, this was pretty bad.
Yeah, I had a decent read on. My brain just didn't think about Light World Bumper Cave for the longest time, and so I did a lot of crap that I shouldn't have done and wasted a lot of time doing that. And then, I mean, unless you're crazy and do just a blind, I'm going to fake Flipper Zora here with nothing putting it in logic and tons of other things to do, that's basically a forced double dip of that double connector sequence to the pyramid, which is awful.
Yeah, pretty much everything felt pretty bad the entire time. And I knew the only shot I had was that you were having just as many problems. And like I said, I'm guessing from the item locations, I kind of figured you probably would. But yeah,
I had quite a few, yeah.
Never would have got that.
I would say, but at least I had, like, I went into Mire already having mitts, and so I got my flute and then had to activate it, which meant that, like, it was nearly... Or, I mean, I could have orphaned Ice Rod, but it would have been really dumb for me to orphan Ice Rod at that point.
Right. If I had the mitts, I would have made the same play. But
yeah.
I didn't.
And that's just bad luck, like, for you, honestly.
I mean, that's just the nature of the game. Sometimes, especially in something like Crosskeys, you just do it in the slightly wrong order, and it can be literal half-hour difference.
Yeah.
I think I ended up saying those exact words there towards the end of the game there, Zelga.
Yes, and we have the VOD to prove it.
But it was kind of funny, like how much you guys kind of mirror each other in this seed. Like, I don't think like when it came to that pearl, we were going, oh my god, oh, Alaszun's found the pearl. This is amazing. And then I looked over across the screen and I want to say Alaszun found it first, and then sure enough, just Zelga is just like almost at that moment walking up the pyramid, and it's just going like, oh, okay, well, never mind. I mean, like,
as soon as I saw that stupid ass cape, I knew where the moon pearl was going to be. I saw the cape and I'm like, are you kidding me, game? Come on.
It was a interesting meme seed. I will say that it was kind of entertaining from our standpoint, because I mean, anytime you get to a last location at some point for both of you guys, like multiple last locations, it's just kind of like, well, it's got to be here because it literally can't be anywhere else.
I think after the moon pearl, even though the seed was mean, it still felt like a fun seed, even though it was kind of a slow slog. Like, it at least was interesting logically and required you to do some stuff and was very, very non-linear.
Yeah, I don't think this was a terrible seed, and it was at least entertaining. It was just very stressful in a tournament environment. If this was like a ladder race, I would have pretty much loved every second of it.
Yeah, I kind of pulled up my race time room at about 150. I'm just eyeing it. I'm like, okay, Zelga, just finish so I can forfeit, please. I know you're way ahead of me. I've been doing everything wrong here. Just finish. And then I sat there.
I pulled up the race room at like 1:30, saying the exact same thing. So
because I'm basically pod big key from Go mode if I can reach desert. Okay, cool. And then of course it just was in that dumbass fucking spot.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm guessing from about the time you finished, we probably got the pod big keys almost around the same time frame. And then I probably was a little earlier because I like full cleared swamp. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, like if I hadn't found the pod big key there, I was very, very tempted after I did the boots check to be, I'm just going to do swamp and hope it's there and not check the mire entrance because I know it's desert and it's only one item. But it just broke that my last boots check was desert and then I could just go at that point.
Yeah, that was the biggest difference there at the end was Zelga, you were probably, I'd say maybe like 3 or 4 minutes. 3 or 4 minutes ahead, maybe not even that much. But then when you went into, we found Sasharala, I was like, oh, okay, so here's some things. We saw that swamp small, and we're just going, oh, okay, it's going to be in swamp. And then we saw the big key, and pretty much everybody in chat and just kind of went, oh, he's screwed.
Yeah, that's the kind of place where it's just like, ooh, if you orphan that spot is staying orphaned.
Yeah.
Yep, I had done the blacksmith like not too long. I think I did the blacksmith after activating the flute, or something like that.
I walked the blacksmith straight over there. But I definitely did not feel great at all about that seed. I'm like, honestly, like I feel like really tingly and weird after that seed. So I don't know if like something's just like wrong with me and I'm just not feeling well. But that's what it is.
Well, you guys, I guess I only got really one extra question here. Do you guys have any idea when we're going to be seeing Game 2 of this match?
No. Probably next week, I would guess.
Okay.
I have a new puppy, and so I have to be kind of judicious about my scheduling, because puppies require a lot of time and focus. which is also why I haven't really been practicing much. But yeah, he's really cute though.
Awesome.
But I'm excited, and this is actually round 3, not round 2.
Yeah, this is
Technically
a
speaking.
round 1 rematch. And oh, by the way, I mirrored in Eastern doing the Stalfos, and I thought of you.
I almost mirrored. There was a time where I actually almost did it, and I stopped myself, and I'm like, wow, that would have been real embarrassing to do again. In the same setting. Although if you had finished, I might have just gone straight to Aga Tower, started the Aga fight, and mirrored and forfeit. That was my alternate plan.
That would have been funny.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing. Well, I guess game 2 of this round. Then, if I wanted to be specific, there, whenever this happens, and other than that, I guess we'll probably get this thing all wrapped up for the night. There, GGs to you both. There, big thank yous to everyone involved there. Thank yous to our trackers there, Jinxie Girl and Be Liberal, coming in, and Clear Mouse. Anything you want to add?
No, you've said pretty much everything that I wanted to say. GG's Alaszun and Zelda for sticking it out this seed. It was for pleasure to watch. Both of you run the seed to its completion. So certainly looking forward to game 2. And Zelda. Since Alaszun was nice enough to mention that he had a puppy, do you have a cat fact for us?
Oh man, I've been put on the spot. What would be your cat?
I apologize. So how about you give us a cat fact for round 2?
All right, that's fair.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm good. Thanks.
All right, when the Nori, it's all yours.
Okay, GG's Alaszun and zelgadissan. It was a great rematch. So looking forward to the upcoming games. Thank you very much, Days Cloud and Clear Mouse, for doing commentary today. I always appreciate it. And also, I'd like to thank our trackers again, Blibberl and Jinxie Girl. And it looks like the next match we have on the schedule should be a super hype one. It is going to be Schultzer versus Hitcheon, and it is their game 3. And it's losers bracket, so someone's going on and someone's going home. So I guess I'm gonna wrap things up. So thanks again everyone for joining us, and thanks to my lovely volunteers. And have a good night, morning, or afternoon, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.